The other subject I wanted to touch on as far as making the bike track ready this year, I believe that they're requiring catch cans to be installed on all the carburetors. The idea of the catch can is to actually, when the bike falls on its side, because you inevitably are going to crash the goddamn thing, is that when the carburetor is on its side, it's not leaking your oil fuel mixture out onto the track and making the track slick again. So what you do is you install a simple can on the side of your carburetor that allows you to catch all of that. Most carburetors, it's actually pretty easy to set up. On the PHBGs, the Mikunis, and the OKOs, and a lot of the other Japanese manufactured carburetors, it's all actually very simple. On PHBGs, for example, these little tubes that stick out on the side here, there's going to be one located on each side. That's actually the overflow for the carb body itself. So when the carb turns on its side, the fuel will flow out of these holes. Not every PHBG is actually going to have these installed on here, so if you do have one that doesn't have these, go grab one off of another bike, pull it out with a pair of pliers, and just slide it in there. They're not press fit or stuck in there by anything. You can just push them in and out. The same way with the Mikunis. They have the tube on each side. That's your down tube, your overflow. And then you actually have a separate overflow that mounts inside of the carburetor in case the center of it overflows when it's just up vertical. So you'll actually, on the Mikuni, you'll want to take all three of the tubes that come off of here and then put them down into a catch can. The one carb that we're going to be using a lot of out there at Tomahawk Cup this year is going to be the Delorto SHA series of carbs, because that's what a lot of the stock class racers are going to have on them because of the 15 mil limit, and that's what came on a lot of the bike stock. But the problem with these is that you can't actually effectively put a catch can on top of them. The overflow on an SHA is actually these little holes right here. There's one over here, and then there's one on this side here. With the plastic cap actually on top of here, you won't be able to see them or get to them because it actually physically covers up the holes. Because you can't actually do anything about this, I do not know there's a proper solution for putting catch cans on an SHA carburetor, rather this style or the Vespa 1313s, because they both have the same overflow style. So on these, I'm not sure what we'll have to do for that. Might just ignore it. We always have up here in Portland, but it's something to consider if they're going to be really stickle about it. But the catch can itself can actually be anything. We typically use the 5-hour energy drink bottles because they're common. We always have them. They're easy to use, and you can just zip tie them somewhere on your bike. The trick with the catch can is to actually, on the PHBGs, because you only have two, with the larger carburetors, the tubing is going to be much bigger, so you might have to use a larger can. But for the PHBGs, it actually works out really well with the smaller cans. So all you really have to do is you want to drill 3 holes in the top of the cap. This is actually one that came off of my bike that I've been using this year, so it looks all dirty, but it's what I've been using. The reason you want to have 3 holes in here is because when you actually install this on the carburetor, if you don't allow the catch can itself to breathe, it's going to vapor lock the entire carburetor, and it's going to constantly flood no matter what you do. So if you don't allow your catch can to breathe, you're going to have a lot of problems with figuring out why your carb is leaking constantly. But all you simply have to do is just slide the tubing up on each side. You know, there's not much to it. So you'll just simply install it on each side. And typically on this one, I would have it mounted right here with a zip tie. So when it sits on the bike vertical, it's fine. The reason we like to use the screw cap bottles is because the cans will actually collect fluid even if the bike is not on its side over time, so you'll have to drain these out every once in a while. If you don't drain it out after a while, it will get up to the point and fill up to the point where it's going to start causing you problems with the carburetor itself. So every once in a while at the track, you'll want to just dump these out. If you use a clear bottle, which a lot of the guys do, it's a lot easier to track, but it's not that hard just to pull it off every once in a while.